Quick Primetime follow-up.
Like Primetime as in Coach Prime or Primetime as this show?
No, this show, man.
Oh, wow.
We're the most important.
Well, you prime-timed it. We were just talking about Coach Prime.
So the follow-up is that last night I was praying to God that Ichiro wouldn't be in full Mariners uniform when he threw out the first pitch.
I told you.
And he was in full Mariners uniform when he threw out the first pitch.
I believe that I was very adamant that full uniform, and he was going to bring the cheese. I said 80. He brought 84 mile an hour heat.
Was that what it was?
84.
He threw a high fastball.
High fastball, out of the zone, but hey, maybe someone's chasing that.
He popped the glove.
But he brought the heat. 84? I'm not throwing 84. I think I'd throw like 54.
I was really hoping that he wouldn't be in full uniform.
Yeah. You knew he would be. And I think that's what it was, is I think you were in denial that he would be in full uniform.
I just wanted to believe.
No.
He
will be buried in that uniform. And if you're the Mariners...
It's so sad.
Well, they're celebrating him all year. Did you see they're doing a year of Ichiro?
Is this the year of Ichiro?
Yes.
Year of 51?
Yeah, it was going in Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So they said that... I was watching at my buddy's house last night. We convened for opening day. And so they said they were celebrating the year of Ichiro. And which means he's going to be around a bunch. And which is cool because Ichiro's greatness, right?
He is greatness.
At the same time, take this with all due respect to Ichiro and Ichiro fans and
bracing. Are you bracing, Will?
I'm already offended.
If you are the Mariners, is Ichiro a little bit, just a little bit, of like an ex-wife that you can't quite get rid of? Like,
I don't think you want to get rid of him.
Well, that's the thing is, like, you've got kids together, right? You have a cordial relationship, but she still seems to think you're married. I guarantee that he makes people in that organization, while happy to have him around, they make people uncomfortable. Because God forbid you ever told him that he couldn't do something. Or that, hey, man, we can't have you in the dugout. We can't have you wearing the uniform. I think it's like an ex that you're afraid that you could push them too far and they may do something drastic. He's got a little stalker Mariner thing about him. I think Ichiro is doing some light Mariner stalking. And he's good enough, and he's kind of hot. Maybe occasionally they sleep together. It's like the whole ex thing, so you kind of keep him around. And it's not that bad, but it is going to continue to get weird because he can't move on to anything else. And secretly, you're hoping that ex ends up finding someone new to kind of foist them onto it, except it's not happening. Ichiro isn't going back to New York. He's not going to the Marlins. No, he is firmly planted. He's living in your ADU right now. And now you just kind of have to accept it because you don't have the guts to tell him that maybe it's time to move on with your life.
Is he living in Seattle?
I think he might live at the ballpark. I think he might have Phantom of the Opera where he lives down in the tunnels. I think Ichiro has dug some sort of weird cave there's a moat underneath T-Mobile and Ichiro lives there. And he just appears every now and then in full uniform.
All right, I'd prefer to look at this the positive way.
Yeah.
And that is that if you want any player to wear out his welcome, I think he's like number one.
Yeah.
It could be way worse. That's a guy even though it might be getting a little weird, and I do think the Mariners are inviting it, they're playing their part too.
Yeah.
I just don't think you mind him. You just kind of let him you tussle his hair and you let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Whereas other people, I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to talk myself into this being an okay thing.
I think you are.
But it is getting odd. It's odd. It's odd. It is so odd.
He's like 52 or something.
He was like on the bench in full uniform.
Yes.
He's not even
No.
He's not a coach,
Nothing.
Right?
You're also talking about the same guy who had the same meal before every game. Every single game he played. He's a weird dude.
He's very neurotic.
They had to tell him that he's not allowed to wear the uniform on the bench. Remember a number of years ago?
So is this an illness? Is he sick?
Yeah, I think it's like an OCD sort of thing. Yeah. Remember, he was like a special assistant to something or other, and he would try to be in uniform on the bench, and they had to tell him, Like, dude, Major League Baseball won't allow this. And then he would go through his pregame routine, including hitting in the underground, like batting cages. And they were like, hey man, that's great, but we can't have you out on the field. So I just think no one wants to tell him that it's getting weird. And this year will only reinforce it because it's the year of Ichiro. But after this year, I think he's just going to keep showing up for like opening day, first pitch. And they're like, well, Ichiro, it's not you this year. And then he just shows up. Wait till next year when they try to have Edgar or someone throw out the first pitch. And Ichiro just walks up on stage like Zoolander style to accept the award, to accept the ball. And they're like, no, Ichiro, it's someone else. And they're like, well, I guess we have two people throwing out the first pitch now. It's not going to end.
Well, if that happened, don't you just let him do it? I mean, you just let him do it.
I think so.
So what's weird about it to me is that when he played, he was so guarded and private and aloof that this is like the opposite of that.
Yes.
And I don't understand that. Like that makes no sense. Like he seemed like the guy that would play it out and you would never see, he would become a ghost.
Wrong.
Like Johnny Carson.
Tim Duncan, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is Tim Duncan doing?
No. I think he's actually coaching now. I think he's come back. But yeah, like he went away. Barry Sanders went away.
Yeah.
Like you thought Ichiro would retire and just vanish into the, the ether. Wrong.
Not even like it's the opposite.
There was that article a couple years ago in ESPN where, and it was the saddest thing. He rents out stadiums in Japan and then hires local people to come play games with him. So and he's playing like major league style competitive baseball, but with randos that he just hires to come play.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I'd sign up for that.
Well, everyone would. But isn't it weird? That man is one of the
play baseball. He loves the game.
That man is one of the greatest baseball players of all time. And next thing you know, he's paying you, Isaac Ropp, to go out and throw him some cheddar.
Yeah, I'm in on that.
You don't think that's a little weird?
I'm just saying, from my perspective,
it's great.
It's great.
All right, that would be like if I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'm trying to if who's like a great old-time pass rusher. Now, if Bruce Smith came down to the fan and was like, hey, Suke and Will, I got a deal for you. I'm going to pay you guys each $50 and I'm going to get you some full pads. We're going to head out to Jesuit. How about the three of us just do some pass rush? Just some one-on-ones in the afternoon. What do you guys say? No, I'd be like, Bruce, you're one of the greats. Like,
he's paying you.
He's paying me.
You're going.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm going.
Will's going.
I'll get my ass kicked by Bruce Smith.
What?
I'm in.
If he's going to pay me?
Yeah, that's easy money.
That's a great story.
Let's go. Maybe we could have Ichiro on the side.
There's no part of you that would be like,
throwing a bullpen.
This is sad.
Well, sure, but I'd still take the check.
And then it's like Bruce, it's like his heroin. He's like, hey guys, how about we do this every Tuesday? You're like, Bruce, you're in the Hall of Fame.
The sack man.
What are we doing? Like, next you know, then he's calling John Randall and he's out there. And then, God forbid, Aaron Donald shows up one day and he's like, I'm retired. And you're like, well, I'm going to die. It's weird. And I love Ichiro. Like, I love Ichiro as one of my favorite players, but I'm concerned for him.
I think he needs a therapist.
Yes.
And I hope he has one and I hope he's working through it. But it is a little odd. It really is.
Yeah, someone said it's the opposite of fantasy baseball. I have a buddy of mine who's a great guy. He goes every year to Mets fantasy camp. And it's like his highlight. One of these days I'm going to go with him because I think it'd be hilarious to put on the uniform out there and watch me blow out a knee diving for, a ball with Keith Hernandez. But like it's the oppo of fantasy camp. Ichiro, it should be bums paying Mackie Sasser $10,000 to go be on the field with them, not Ichiro paying people to come play with Ichiro.
Well, I'm guessing Ichiro is a part of the Mariners fantasy camp, right?
I would assume.
They probably can't keep him out.
I would assume.
Because those fantasy camps are cool. I've known a lot of people that do them. My brother did the one with the Padres.
Yeah.
And he sent me pictures of Trevor Hoffman, hanging out with Trevor Hoffman. They're in the clubhouse, drinking beer.
Oh, yeah.
That's a cool deal.
Well, my buddy goes out there and he's got a couple of the old school dudes that because he's been going for years. Like he parties with those guys and the stories are amazing. But the problem is, Like, if you're out there with Mackie Sasser is not trying to throw anyone out to prove a point. I think Ichiro is. I think Ichiro is trying to gun you down at third and then probably taunts you. Like, it's problematic.
You need to stop pooping on Ichiro.
I'm
okay,
not.
listen, we
I'm
all
not.
get. Yes,
I love
you are.
Ichiro.
You are.
I love
We
him.
all get it. It is a little odd, but let's just embrace it because there are worse guys that could be loitering.
Yes.
You know, they're way worse.
Yeah.
It's cool to have.
Like, if
Ichiro.
Sean Figgins were doing this, then we'd be like, all
come on,
right,
you got to arrest him.
But I love Ichiro.
But he should be able to do whatever he wants. He really should.
He's earned the hall pass forever.
Yeah, I love the guy.
He is greatness, and I'm glad that Mariner, because there was a while there where some Mariner fans kind of poo-pooed Ichiro at the tail end, that thought he was a very selfish
I think your
player.
brother didn't like him.
Yeah, he was kind of an anti-Ichiro guy, and I'm glad that Ichiro has come full circle, and Mariner fan appreciates that you had one of the all-time greats. Yeah. And had he come over at the beginning, he would be the hit king.
Such a unique player.
He would have toppled Pete Rose.
When you think about him.
Yeah, and they always say the same thing. If he wanted to, he could have been any type of player. If he wanted to hit for power, he 100% could have. He chose to be that style of player. He's one of one.
He really is one of one.
And probably loves the game more so than just about anyone that's ever played.
It was a nice first pitch.
And that's cool.
It was a nice
84, a little high, but
nice first pitch.
Full windup, by the way.
Yeah.
High leg kick.
He even called the pitch. Did you see he called the fastball?
He called it, yeah.
Yeah.
You think he's gonna break off a curve? Oh no.
Well, if he is, you gotta tell Dan Wilson.
Dan Wilson.
He's out there. No cup.
No, he's out there with his glove. I secretly think Dan Wilson was like, "Oh my God, don't just."
Yeah.
Come on, Ichi. Let's.
Well, that's probably why Ichiro threw it high.
Yeah,
he knows. It's respect.
I don't need to take one of these off the shin right
We don't need another Mitch Haniger.
No,
we just got rid of one.
I wonder if we ever interview Dan Wilson, I'm asking, hey, did you cup up for that? There's part of you that had to be a little concerned. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if Wilson slipped one in. He's like, I got it.
Just to be careful.
Just to be careful.